Ohio State has recently been known as wide receiver U, so where is every Ohio State starting wide receiver since 2015 now? Well, to start, first up, the unk of this group is Michael Thomas, who played 3 years at Ohio State, being an extremely good receiver there as he was named a third-team All-Big Ten selection and helped them to win a national championship. And that allowed him to be picked in the second round of the 2016 NFL Draft by the New Orleans Saints. And through his first 4 years in the NFL with the Saints, he was the best receiver in the entire NFL, winning NFL Offensive Player of the Year and making 3 Pro Bowls. Sadly, though, after this, injuries began to catch up with Michael Thomas, and he last played in the NFL in 2023. And following him, Noah Brown took over as a starter in 2014. And he actually missed the entire 2015 season before bouncing back in 2016, and following his 3 years there, he'd be picked in the 7th round of the 2017 NFL Draft by the Dallas Cowboys. And in the NFL, he's never been an amazing receiver, but has become pretty solid and is currently playing for the Washington Commanders in 2025. And Johnny Dixon also came in with him in 2014. And in his 4 years of college football at Ohio State, he improved every year, becoming a very good receiver there, but sadly went undrafted in 2019, signing with the Texans. And after that, he never played a single snap in the NFL, bouncing around many different professional leagues and last playing professional football in 2023. And also in 2014, Terry McLaurin joined the Ohio State Buckeyes. And in his 3 years of college football at Ohio State, he improved every year, but just never really got that much of an opportunity. And that allowed him to be picked in the 3rd round of the 2019 NFL Draft by Washington, where he's been amazing through his first 7 seasons, making 2 Pro Bowls and even being named a second-team All-Pro. And also in 2014, Paris Campbell joined Ohio State. And in his 3 years with the Buckeyes, he improved every year, having a dominant 2018 season, which allowed him to be named a first-team All-Big Ten selection. And as a result of that, he'd be picked in the 2nd round of the 2019 NFL Draft by the Indianapolis Colts, where he was sadly just a complete bust in the NFL, bouncing around many different teams, winning a Super Bowl with the Eagles and currently playing for the Cowboys. And following him in 2015, KJ Hill took over at Ohio State. And in his 4 years with the Buckeyes, he was honestly just a very good receiver there. Despite that, though, he'd only be picked in the 7th round of the 2020 NFL Draft by the Chargers, where he sadly only played 2 seasons in the league before last playing professional football in 2024. And then following him in 2016, Benjamin Victor took over. And he also played 4 years at Ohio State, being a very solid receiver, but which is kind of underwhelming there. And as a result of that, he sadly went undrafted in 2020, signing with the Ravens, where he got to play a little bit in the NFL before bouncing around and currently playing for the Edmonton Elks. And then following him in 2018, Chris Olave took over as the starting receiver. And he was just truly amazing in his 4 years with the Buckeyes, scoring 35 touchdowns as he was a 3-time All-Big Ten selection. And that allowed him to be picked 11th overall in the 2022 NFL Draft by the New Orleans Saints, where he's been great through his first 4 seasons, but concussions and injuries have begun to plague his career. And then Garrett Wilson joined the Buckeyes in 2019. And he would go on to play 3 years for Ohio State, also improving every year and having a breakout season in 2021. And that ultimately allowed him to be picked 10th overall in the 2022 NFL Draft by the New York Jets. And despite having awful quarterback play, he's been great for the Jets, having 1,000 receiving yards every season and even winning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. And following him in 2020, Jackson Smith and Jigba joined the Ohio State Buckeyes. And he had a dominant, and I mean dominant season